What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another installment of Not What It Seems. We have the cameras on today. We have a little. I
Yeah,
see you with the background, Join.
had to set it up for the fans.
No, you know. So what stood out to you this week? What's been going on in the world of baseball?
Like you said, I'm pretty excited. We're going to be starting to film now, and we're going to be posting on YouTube every week that the podcast comes out. It'll also come out on the same platforms that the podcast has been. So,
Right.
however you want to listen, if you want to watch us too, feel free. We're going to have some background set up. You got the nice Kobe jersey set up too. I know you'll have some other stuff. So,
Oh, for sure.
not too much going on this week. Something kind of funny happened a few days ago. LeBron James, big basketball player, if you don't know, plays for the Lakers right now. He was a big Cleveland Cavalier player, and if you remember, he was at Game 7 of the World Series in Cleveland, cheering on the
Right.
Indians a lot. Got really hyped when Rajay Davis hit his home run, things like
Big
that.
one.
He's also been seen at Yankee games wearing Yankee hats.
Hmm.
And he just became part owner of the Boston Red Sox.
Really?
So I don't know if he's kind of changing who he roots for every year or what. I don't know. What do you think about
Damn.
that?
Fucking
I mean,
bandwagoner.
right? But dude, Boston's not even going to be good this year.
No, no. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
assuming this is a pretty small share of them. I don't know. LeBron has a ton of money, honestly. He just ends up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was funny. I
Obviously,
was just
it's
saying to someone, I wonder if he's ever going to own a team because
yeah.
MJ owns a team. But
Yes, I'm surprised he went the baseball route. Like honestly, I not
yeah,
that he would have bought the basketball team now, obviously, but I don't know. I would have thought he would have tried to get into Cleveland though, because he apparently was such a big fan.
no, apparently I don't know.
Like in the World Series that year, he wore like a T-shirt that said Cleveland or nowhere,
Oh,
and we all know how that
apparently
worked
it's
out.
not.
Like
Apparently not.
a
But
couple years later, he's playing in LA. So I doubt that was really
no, yeah,
heartfelt.
he's going back and forth. But I love Braun. You watch basketball?
I haven't as much this year because of everything that the scheduling change and stuff. I actually been watching some March Madness started yesterday, but
Oh, got you. Yeah,
yeah, I haven't
I
watched
think
the NBA as much as I used to. So,
yeah, I think actually USC has a game today. We're actually pretty nice this
oh
year,
yeah,
so I might try to catch that. Yeah,
yeah,
no,
we're
I'm a big NBA fan,
yeah.
but
Well, when does the season? It's going like through the whole summer this year, right? For the NBA,
I
is it
think
like?
so. I want to say the
Yeah.
playoffs start like around May.
Wow, gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's weird,
so
man. I wonder if they're ever gonna like get back to their original schedule, or if now it's just gonna be like this every year because of COVID.
that's true because then after the playoffs, you're gonna have another short off season.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know. Yeah, it's supposed to be weird without the bubble now for the playoffs,
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah,
excited
well,
though. I'm hoping
yeah,
that he can go far. But
yeah.
yeah, no, we got another good show for you all. Biggest news, probably the biggest injury news of the week. Unfortunately, Carlos Carrasco has a torn hamstring, and he's going to start the year on the injured list.
Yeah, Liam, he is, and that's the last thing you wanted to hear, except
No, it's just like give us a chance, you know what I mean? Like I just like the preseason injuries just piss me off because this happened. I mean, Syndergaard last year was just one example, but
yeah, it's tough, man. Like he was a very underrated part of that deal too, in my
right,
opinion.
yeah,
And after everything the guy's been through in his life, like he had cancer, he finally came back last year and was really good in Cleveland,
hmm
and he pitched good in the playoff game against us decently. And he was going to be like your number, I don't know, three, four. Like Carlos Carrasco was going to
arguably
be the
too.
three or
Yeah,
four. Like, yeah, exactly. And so it's tough. I think your guys' rotation is good enough to withstand something like this, but it sucks anyway. So,
yeah. I'm still feeling good about it. I think
yeah,
also the fact it's not like some major arm injury; it's just a hammy. Yeah, no,
yeah,
I'm hoping maybe May or so he's back. I actually forget how long the injury is supposed to be,
yeah.
but
So I saw that it said like torn hamstring, not strained. So like a strain is like the grade one, two, three. Like does torn mean he literally fucking tore the thing off his leg? Like, because that is a long time if that happened. Hopefully it's not the case.
no, that'd be so vintage
Yeah,
though. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
just wouldn't
it really
expect
would.
anything less.
Yeah. But I got to give it to Steve Cohen. He really built up the depth of your rotation pieces. He brought in
Yeah.
some guys that you kind of, after you guys got Carrasco and after you guys got Walker, he kind of brought in some guys, and you were like, well, when are they really going to get the chance to start? Like they're proven major league starters.
Yeah.
So I'll kind of bounce it off of you. Who do you think has the best chance to really take his spot in the rotation come April 1st?
I would say the first thing that comes to mind is Joey Lucchesi.
Mm-hmm.
As just
Former
like a
Padre.
yeah, just as like a mid-level starter, just to hold the fort until
Yeah.
he's back. I do agree. I feel like depth has been an issue for them over the last couple of years, especially last year. You had DeGrom, David Pearson, and then like nobody. So is
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, those are some of
Yeah.
the underrated moves. Like we talk a lot about Lindor, we
Yeah.
talk about Carrasco, those moves, but
Yeah.
um Joey Lucchesi, Jordan Yamamoto. So that's definitely going to
Yeah.
be something nice to have in your back pocket. But I would say Lucchesi for now.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Yamamoto has some great potential. He throws pretty hard. He was on the Marlins previously. But I
Yeah,
think being your rotation is made up of mostly righties, all if not all righties. I think that's why Lucchesi will get the opportunity because he's a lefty.
right.
So because you got DeGrom, Stroman, Walker. I mean, will Pearson be starting the year in the rotation? Do you think, or
I'd have to think there's a shot now.
yeah? And then I think Lucchesi might grab that 5 spot until Syndergaard gets back. But hopefully Carrasco's back before him. We're hoping it's
Yeah,
not as bad as it seems. But
no, exactly.
yeah,
I will say, I don't know if you've been seeing like DeGrom in spring training. Like, not this is we all know
oh
DeGrom's
man,
like the
yeah,
best pitcher in the league, but he has looked ridiculous. He's just
he's looked
he
nuts,
was. I
dude.
think he hit 102 the other day.
He
He was
did.
just mowing people down.
Yeah, I was watching. I don't know, maybe it was like Wednesday or Thursday. He was pitching against Houston, and I was eating lunch and I was watching the game. And like, dude, he was blowing guys away. Like he, I was actually watching, and he only let up 1 run. And it was his first run let up of the spring, I think, though. And it was a
Hmm.
home run. He let up a home run to some like I don't know guy wearing a number 90 something jersey on Houston that you never heard of.
Classic,
And
yeah.
the guy was so like hyped up about it because like if you hit a homer off the ground, dude, I would be hyped too because it barely happens. If that guy never makes it anywhere and you homered off the ground in a spring training game, I would like frame the picture of doing that and hang it in my fucking house
I'll give
because
him that. We'll give him the spring training home run,
yeah.
sure.
But yeah, and DeGrom was like pissed off about letting up the 1 run, like, and he's fucking dude. He's throwing his slider like 94, and then he's hitting
He's
like 102 with his fastball. It's like he's getting better every year.
I was about to say I think he's
Yeah,
getting better, which is like kind of ridiculous, but
I know.
you know,
It's like it's scary, man. Because like I mean, I think he's the best pitcher in baseball, obviously. And
mhm.
when you guys get into the playoffs this year, no one's gonna want to face you guys game one, no matter who they have going out there.
Dude, I'm hyped. Dude, seeing him, I'm even just seeing like videos of like Lindor mic'd up, just having fun in like the games. I just can't wait.
Yeah,
So
he's actually been heating up too. If you noticed, he
yeah,
hit
I think
a
he hit
couple
a grand slam
homers.
yesterday.
Yeah, he did. That was
Yeah.
he's looking like himself now, which is nice to see in a Mets uniform. You know.
Yeah, no, it's good. He's
Yeah.
looking comfortable. So
Yeah. All right. So now we're gonna move on to something we've been doing the past couple of weeks. Do player spotlights, which we're just gonna take some guys from each division, kind of focus on them, how they're gonna affect teams, and why they're kind of underrated and they could really help their team much more than you think. So
little sleeper picks. Yeah.
yeah, I'm going with the guy who's kind of moved around a little bit the past few years, and I don't know why. I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't really tell why he's hit wherever he's gone. I'm going with Adam Duvall, who
Okay.
signed with the Miami Marlins to play right field. So obviously, you became pretty familiar with Duvall as a Mets fan. He was pretty much raking with
Yeah.
Atlanta last year. And listen, I mean, last year, 16 homers, 33 RBIs,
Hmm.
over 57 games, which is pretty legit. He had 2 3 homer games. That's a lot, dude.
Really?
In a 60 game season. Like, that's kind of
Damn.
nuts. And he's had some great years in the past, too. Back in 2015, he really was still finding his way, but the next 2 seasons in Cincinnati, he was a stud, man. He hit 33 homers, drove in at 103 in 2016, and he was an all-star that year too. Almost positive he was also in the home run derby that year. I don't
I
think
think
he
so
won.
because I think it was
That
him and some other red. Yeah.
right. I think it was might have been Todd Frazier actually at that point.
Right.
Maybe not
Yeah.
though. I don't remember, but and the next year, 31 homers, 99 RBIs, and he had an OPS close to 800 each season. So he got traded over to Atlanta after that, and he kind of didn't really play much the first 2 seasons he was in Atlanta. And then last year, I think actually might have even been like at the end of 2019, he started to play more because of an injury, and I think he started playing okay, but then someone came back from injury or something, so he wasn't playing. But last year he came up. They called him up. I don't even think he started the year with the team again, and he just started to hit. And he's always hit. That's the thing. And he's a good defender too. If you look at his glove metrics, he's a good defender.
Okay.
He's pretty fast out there too. He has high number and sprint speed compared to like corner outfielders. So I think I don't really understand why the Reds ever really got rid of him, to be honest with you. Like
Might just be a payroll thing, but
it could have been because he used to be he was a giant first, and the Reds traded for him. I think it might
okay.
have even been in the I don't remember some trade between the Giants and the Reds. But listen, I think Adam Duvall is going to have a great year in Miami. Him to go along with Starling Marte and Corey Dickerson in the outfield is a pretty good outfield.
Hmm.
Dickerson won a Gold Glove with Pittsburgh back in 2018, maybe 17. Obviously, Starling Marte is a great center fielder, and Duvall is going to play some right, which he hasn't done in a little while, but I think he'll be fine in right field. And also, he may not just affect the Marlins. He's on a 1 year deal. If Miami is kind of
Oh, he got a
lower,
1 year deal?
I'm pretty sure it was 1 year for 4 million. It wasn't even that much. Like,
Really?
yeah, so that was kind of odd. That whole Marlins outfield may not be there by August 1st because if the Marlins are where we think they're going to be, Dickerson's contract will be up, Marte's contract will be up,
Okay.
and Duvall's. So if they play good, they might be just fucking playing themselves into a trade. We don't
No, I was
know.
about to say that's a pretty
Yeah.
well-rounded outfield, like offense and defense, but you're right. They might
Uh,
not. They might be there for about 4 months.
and listen, I think the Marlins are better than people think, but that division, dude, you understand how fucking hard it's going to be to win in that division.
It's been neck and neck. Yeah.
I'm rooting for everybody to do good, man, because like I want everyone
No,
to be
screw
like
them.
battling and stuff. I know you don't.
Fuck that.
Listen, it's going to be a bloodbath. So I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of teams that he could help at the deadline. He's a great righty hitter against left-handed pitching, so
Mm.
even platoon option. But I think when he plays consistently, he's a great player. So he needs to get every day at bats. I think what kind of screwed
Yeah.
him over was when he came over to Atlanta, he would play sometimes, then he'd get sent down, then he'd come back up. And he didn't play very well against righties because he didn't have every day at bats against them. And then last year he proved that he was able to do it. So that's who I got this week.
That's a good pick. I forgot about him. Especially, I'm
Uh,
also surprised he just made only 4 million.
Me
And
too, man.
yeah, I will say I wonder if his power numbers dip a little bit only because he's moving to such a big
Yeah,
ballpark. But I mean, yeah, just based on what 16 homers in under 60 games last year, that's a pretty good pick. I'll definitely be seeing him. I mean, I guess the
yeah,
Nets, but
yeah.
I think for me, I'm gonna go with a guy. Actually, I didn't know he existed until I did some
Oh
research.
yeah.
Sean Murphy, catcher for the A's.
Oh
So
yeah, for Oakland. Yeah, he's the
he's
young
only
kid.
had, I think he's only played about 60 major league games, but he's had some
Uh,
pretty good numbers. I mean, last year, again, very small sample size, but 821 OPS.
mm,
He's projected for 17 homers this year. His defense is really good too. So, like we keep on mentioning the A's as a team that could like that just pesky and they're always going to be around. So
yeah.
if he's going to hit and he's going to be good on defense for them, he's going to be a huge key in the AL West.
Yeah, I remember seeing him a little bit last year. He broke out and like he played very well. And like you'd always kind of knew like the A's had catchers to come in, they'd leave, whatever. This is like a young guy they've kind of brought up. And I think he's going to probably be there for a while if he keeps playing like this. So
Yeah, no, I'm interested to see if he can keep up with some of his counting numbers from his first 60 major league games. And
yeah,
yeah, I mean, you look at that lineup and he could provide him a good boost.
yeah,
So now we're going to shift into kind of a new segment where we're not necessarily going to talk news or new signings or projections for next year. We want to do like a little bit of a deeper dive into the game of baseball and some of the developments that have happened over the last like decade or so, just recent years. So I was texting you a little bit about this the other day, the shift, and there's a
uh,
lot of opinions about it,
yeah.
whether it's good for the game, should there be limits on it. So I'm curious to hear what you think. about
The
how good it is and what we should do with it.
the shift, man. That's killed a lot of careers. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
Um, listen, I get it when it first came out because it was only against like the big guys like Chris Davis, guys like that, Mark Trumbo, Joey Gallo.
right.
That would always pull the ball, and at the time it was like, wow, this is like a little weird. This doesn't really happen a ton. Even guys like this jersey back here, Mark Teixeira, got shifted on all the time in New York,
Okay.
and it kind of brought his career down from like a 280 something hitter to like a 230 something hitter
Damn.
each season. And there's a lot of arguments that have to do with it. Like there are a lot of people out there that say, "Oh, well, you're a professional. Just learn how to hit the other way." And I don't agree with that. I think when guys are out there throwing 100 something miles an hour, they got the off speed that they do, and you haven't had to hit it the other way your entire life, growing up in Little League, playing
Mm.
travel ball, even in the minors, you've just been succeeding because you can get a hit to right field if you're a lefty or something like that. And now all of a sudden, when you're like 30 years old, you got to change how you hit. I mean, I don't think that's a fair thing to do. I think there should definitely be restrictions on the shift. I think there shouldn't be four guys in the outfield. That's the dumbest thing I've seen. There shouldn't be four guys on one side of second base either. I just there's got to be limits on it because now you don't get to see certain guys make high level plays. Like I don't know, you don't get to see Javi Baez make a diving play up the middle because he's playing right behind second, or pitchers pitch differently because of how their guys are set up, and they it's just I don't know, man. I just don't agree with how it's used today. I think there's got to be a limit on it, or else because players have already said they're not going to hit it the other way. They're either going to. That's why strikeouts have gone up. That's why homers have gone up because they're just going to try to hit it over the
They're
shift,
stubborn.
and
Yeah.
that's gonna no one's going to change. So unless you start the shift implementing it the way it is in the MLB in T-ball, no one's going to learn how to do it. So they're just going to say fucking strike out or hit a home run. So that's how I
Mm.
feel about it. I know you feel a little bit differently, but what are
I
your thoughts
yeah, I
about it?
disagree. I think baseball's a game of adjustments. Yeah, they're professionals, and okay, maybe they haven't been learning to do this all their lives, but I don't know. Try bunting it towards third base. See what happens. If no one's over there, I don't like. You're easily gonna get on first.
I
I
think I know. I just think that sometimes though the analytical guys are like it benefits us more as a team for a guy like Bryce Harper to crush one into the seats than get a bunt single and then have Reese Hoskins hit into a double play. Like I think they looked at it a lot. I know what you mean though. It's tough to see guys like hit a ball to the second baseman. It's
yeah.
playing in between the gap there and just get out. It's
Well, you
tough.
made a good point because you were saying how it's led to a rise in strikeouts, and strikeouts have
Yeah.
shot up. I mean, it's
Oh
we
yeah.
really become like you talk about
Yeah.
the idea of like three true outcomes. So home run,
Yeah.
strikeout, walk. So
Yeah.
I want to say when exactly did the shift become like really popular? Was it about a decade ago?
Think yeah. Wow, that's fucking crazy. We're getting old.
Yeah.
Fuck me. I remember it was Houston, and they first started doing it when they had their own old uniforms. Wow, they had
Hmm.
those maroons and the pinstripes. I remember
Right,
that now.
right. And they were in
So
the
that
National
was
League.
about 10 years ago. Yeah,
I think, yeah,
but it's been 10 years and no one's changed. So,
but that's their fault. I, you,
but
you're getting
teams
paid
are like
millions of.
still drafting guys that are going to hit homers because they want them to hit homers. You know what I mean? Like you think Joey Gallo got drafted by the Rangers because they thought if there was a shift on him, he was going to bunt it down the third baseline?
No, but then he has to change his game. You're right. He's supposed to hit homers, and he will.
Yeah.
But what if he bunts for I don't even know a few games, he bunts on the left field line, then they won't shift him anymore. So then he's beat it. I just feel like no one's willing to try. They're really like,
Yeah.
no, I'm just gonna hit it over them. Like, I guess so, but then don't come back to me when you're striking out 200 times.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I just think it's come to a point now where front offices don't care. if you strike out. Like they
That's
still
on them
stop.
though.
I
Like
know, and like I get that it's like, yeah, it's like less entertaining. But then,
it's a good point. I mean, if the league is really trying to go for this like entertainment standpoint, put the ball in play, then I could see them doing something. Whether they should, I don't know. I'm skeptical.
I like there are balanced hitters out there that are never going to get shifted against. But I saw last year, fucking hit my mic here. So Mike Trout got shifted against last year. I saw him get shifted against Mike Trout.
What do you
You're
do?
telling me I don't remember, but he got shifted against. There were three guys on the left side of second base. Have you ever thought that Mike Trout was more of a pull hitter than an all-around hitter?
No, but
Ever?
see, but no, but Mike Trout's also an MVP, so I think he's just gonna look at that and be like, okay, now so I'm gonna make adjustments in my game and hit it to the right side.
He might have done that. Honestly, I don't remember, but I don't know. But so is like Giancarlo Stanton has been an MVP. Bryce Harper's been an MVP.
Right.
You don't really see them do what he does. Like they don't give a shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just don't. I mean, how do you feel about the four fucking people playing the outfield? I think that's the dumbest thing I've ever
It's
seen.
kind of funny. It is a little wacky. It's like softball.
Or even when they have like five infielders and then two guys in the outfield. Like, unless you have Jackie Bradley and Lorenzo Cain out there, you're not going to catch
I
many
think it's kind of
balls.
interesting. I think that's a cool story. I want to see that. I want to see how it works. Imagine that it starts like working and like teams just start doing that for like more than one at bat a game.
I would hate that. It just wouldn't look like a baseball diamond anymore.
Can you
You
imagine like
know?
you have, yeah, no, I'm just picturing like a ball hit the center and just nobody's there.
Right, exactly.
And just someone like Moki's like booking it from right field to like try to get it.
Bro, like that would just be the dumbest thing ever.
I think it'd be kind of fun. I kind of want to see that.
Dude, then you're gonna see like all three outfielders come in because the pitcher thinks he can locate a two-seamer and all he's gonna hit is a grounder and he's gonna crush one and he's gonna get like an inside the Parker. Like that.
That's great though. I want like all the chaos, honestly. Just give me like the
Uh,
weirdest plays. Yeah,
yeah, I
I'm
don't know.
curious. I'm curious to see if the league will do anything. I'm kind of thinking they won't. More of
You
like a
think so?
hands-off approach.
I just think it's so much talk. It's talked about so much now. Like I think they're gonna have to do something. Like I don't think it should be completely out. Like I understand the numbers against the guys like Joey Gallo, Chris Davis, whatever. And I don't think like there should be three guys on one side of second base. He should be the farthest you can go is directly behind second. You can't go to the left more if you're the shortstop moving over. And I also think that every infielder should have to have their feet touching the dirt. You
Hmm.
can't be playing fucking shallow right field and have the right fielder playing 10 feet behind you. Like, I don't know, because then you might as well just have the right fielder play in. The infielders should be infielders.
Have infielders ever spoken about that, like their opinions of it? I feel like if you started telling them where they couldn't go, you would cause an issue.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. You're an infielder, so you should be touching the infield. Like, I'm sorry, but
I mean, no, it's fair, but
that's just my opinion. I know there are a lot of people that think about it both ways too. So it's a thing. It's something that's going to be debated until they make a rule about it.
I'm just curious how much further they'll go. Kind of like what you're saying.
Yeah,
Like at what point do they like, okay, this is enough?
we'll see. I think the upcoming CBA may change some things with the shift. Either they'll make a rule saying you can do whatever the fuck you want, or they're going to make a rule to change it because that is coming this off season. So,
No, we'll see. It'll be
yeah,
interesting to see what they do with it. Well, moving on, we're gonna do a little one sentence describe certain teams that we think are worth
yeah,
describing,
yeah.
as we have done. So first, we will start with the Cincinnati Reds. How would you describe them?
Disappointing is a number one. Offensively disappointing,
Yeah,
not pitching wise. I mean, you know what their lineup consisted of last year? Joey Votto, Suarez, Moustakis, Castellanos,
yeah,
Winker. Winker is the only one that had a good year out of like the entire team. Good
yeah.
for him, but everybody else sucked. Okay. Suarez hit like 202 when he has
He
been
was
a
coming
perennial
off a
MVP
huge year
candidate.
too.
Didn't he hit like 50 homers or something the year
Something
before?
like just out of nowhere.
I mean, Votto sucked. Moustakis was hurt, I think, but Castellanos was not what they thought. We saw them in the playoffs get absolutely trampled by the Braves and not score anything. So that's what
Yeah,
I think it's plain and simple.
Bauer
They
put him on his
gotta,
back, but it wasn't enough.
and that's why he's not in Cincinnati anymore.
No, that's fair.
What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, along the same lines, I would say they're kind of boring. Other than
Yeah,
like Luis Castillo, I
yeah.
don't know
I
who
like
is it.
Sonny Gray. I like Sonny Gray
I
too.
do like Sunny too. That's true.
Yeah,
Um,
but
Other
yeah,
than that,
like
I just feel like there's nothing really to be excited about. I mean, I
if
don't know.
they can figure
Just
out some things offensively, like because they have pieces, they didn't work last year for some reason.
yeah, like Suarez came back this year and hit like another
Yeah,
40 home runs. I
right.
mean,
And
yeah,
if
then
Moustakas is back to his form, like that would be helpful. And
right.
Castellanos too. I mean, they were big signings like last year for the Reds, and neither did that much. So
And it hitter's ballpark too.
listen, I'm just gonna say though, the Reds have the potential with their pitching staff to kind of be involved in the NL Central.
Yeah,
They don't have a very good shortstop right now, and there's one shortstop out there that I think will guaranteed to get moved at the end of July, and he's coming from Denver. I think he would be a great fit in Cincinnati.
that'd be interesting. I don't know
That
if they'd
would
be
be
willing to pay
interesting.
him because I feel like Cincinnati is kind of like Cleveland where they just don't pay
No,
people. But I mean, never know.
if you're in it and you got like 2 months left, why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because you imagine him in that lineup if Moustakas is hitting the way he should, Castellanos, Votto, and Suarez are
yeah.
Winker. I mean, that's a game changer in the NL Central. But I also think that there are going to be other teams that might trade for him, like the Brewers, too, that
Oh,
are in
that's
that
true, true.
division. So we'll see what happens. But
Yeah.
Reds, come on, turn it up this year.
No, like they're just rather boring at this point.
Yeah.
Next, a little bit of different story. The Boston Red Sox.
Underappreciated this year. They're going to be
Okay.
very like people aren't going to realize how good they are until they're actually like sitting there, like having potentially being close to a second wild card.
Hmm.
Because I think they definitely have a shot. And I like the moves they made this year. We've talked about it in previous episodes, but love Kike, love the Marlin signing. They actually signed Hunter Renfroe too, who's going to be their starting right fielder.
Oh, okay. He's
I always
definitely
forget that
pop.
they even have him, especially against lefties. Like you put him against some of the lefties in our division too. Ryu on Toronto, John Means with Baltimore. We have Jordan Montgomery, so he'll definitely play against them. And
Mm,
he rakes against lefties. Listen, their pitching is always going to be the question there. They got Eduardo Rodriguez back this year, so that'll help. And we'll see if Sale can come back at some point.
right. No, I'm thinking the same thing. My word was sneaky. I think they're probably better than people realize with that lineup with Bogarts and Devers and Verdugo. You bring in
Yeah,
Kike.
they
Like you were saying,
gotta.
Marwin Gonzalez maybe
Yeah,
and Renfro have some pop. No, I mean the pitching, yeah, it's going to be an issue, but I think they'd be sneaky good.
they could be better than the Rays when the season's over
Mm,
because Tyler Glass now is pretty much all on his own, except
yeah,
for good bullpen guys, I guess, openers, whatever they do over there with Yarborough and guys like that. But
yeah, that was
they
so
could,
disappointing. They
yeah,
came inches away from winning, and they just no. Yeah, I think they have a shot at second wild card.
yeah.
So next we have the Miami Marlins.
Like we just talked about with Duval, he's going to help out. It's unfortunate circumstances, the division that they're in. That's
Yeah.
pretty much all you can say because they were a playoff team last year. And now literally everybody's predicting that they're going to come in fifth in the NL East,
Hmm.
including myself. And I hate that because I think that they shouldn't. But the
Yeah.
division is just so stacked that it just sucks for them. And maybe they'll prove some people wrong. Maybe if things go horribly wrong in Philly or in Washington, they could be there. But I think the Phillies are kind of sick of being shitty. So I think now that they have Dombrowski, he's going to make some trades and might kind of just leave the Marlins in dust.
Could be. Yeah. I would say I'd call them crafty because they have the fourth lowest payroll in the game. This weird kind of rebuild
Right? They did. It
under
was like
Derek
quick.
Jeter.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like it kind of worked though.
it
And
did
now you
work. Yeah.
have guys like Sanchez and I'm blanking on the other one, Lopez.
They got Lopez and
Lopez.
Sandy Alcantara too.
Like just low key
Yeah,
kind of put these like guys together. And you were mentioning too, I forgot how good that outfield was, at least at the moment. Again, maybe they moved someone, but at the
yeah,
moment, it's a pretty
yeah,
good team for like not a lot of money. And like just
yeah.
they like sneakily like built that roster. So I think they're kind of interesting.
They're pitching too. I mean, dude, Sixto, Pablo, and Sandy. I think
Yeah.
they're less experienced, but stuff wise, they could go up against anyone's top three, and I would be confident that they could do it. Confidence wise, I don't know because they haven't been around that long. But I think they're a great top three to be building around.
They're going to be annoying to play this year. That's for
They
sure.
are, dude. And
I,
even if they come in fifth, they're just going to be a pain in the ass to everybody in that division. So,
yeah, they could still win
uh,
around 80 games or so, maybe a little less, and come in fifth. So,
yeah, you'll see. Like I've been coming out with an article every week about each division previews and stuff, and I'm doing the NL East last, which is going to come out I think on opening day. But
okay.
I have the Marlins projected to come in fifth and have a record of 82 and 80.
That's pretty
So
damn good for fifth place.
that means everyone in the division will be above 500 in my opinion. So
Yeah. So first place is only going to win what, like around 92 games or so. I mean, it can't be that much more.
yeah, I'm not going to give it away yet, but my first place team in that division is going to win 91 games. So,
Interesting. Okay.
but
Well,
speaking of
staying,
that division, we're going to go to the Phillies now. What do you think about the Phillies? Going to be a rival.
I'd say, yeah, I'd say they're weird because like I just don't know what to expect from them. I feel like they just underachieve a lot, even when they spend a lot of money. But again, they could be good. Definitely could win that division if Harper's going to keep hitting. Reese, Didi, you still got Wheeler, Nola. Yeah, I think they're kind of weird though because you just don't know what to expect.
Yeah, I think like they're kind of not that they're hitting the panic mode button, but they're kind of like sick of everything. Like they want to make the playoffs. Philadelphia missing the playoffs now for the past 10 years.
I
That does
forgot it's
not
been that
happen
long. Yeah,
since 2011. So that was back when they had Howard, Rollins, Utley, all those guys.
yeah, and Howard had some major injury in the playoffs. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So and that was their last October play in the playoffs. So I think like yeah, everyone's kind of all hyped up right now. They're happy. Philly's going to be good. Like you got Bryce, they re-signed Didi, they got Gene Segura, they got Reese, they got Bone, they got some good guys in the field,
Hmm.
and they've got some good pitchers, man. Zach Wheeler, you know, he was very good with the Mets.
Oh yeah.
And Nola, I think Flynn is a guy that came up last year and was pretty good as for them as well. I'm pretty sure
Okay.
he pitched pretty much like 12 starts, 11 starts maybe, and had an ERA under four. So he was pretty solid as well. But again, they can act like this all they want. If it comes to like the second week of September and they're not close, State's going to have to start changing there. And I think they've already tried to bring in Joe Girardi to manage and Dombrowski as the GM. But if that doesn't work out this year, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I don't know who to blame because they should be good. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
see how they can't be good.
No, like the roster
Um,
construction's been
yeah.
pretty good. Like I feel like you can't really blame the GM, but I don't know. Man, Philly fans are wild. Philly fans
Yeah, they
don't
are.
put up with
They
your
could be worse than
malarkey.
us, dude. So they could be worse than New York fans in certain aspects. So,
Yeah, no, they're wild.
uh, and I think they kind of fixed their bullpen too, which was awful last year.
Hmm.
They had an ERA of their bullpen above 7. Like I think they were ranked in the top 10 for offense and starting pitching, but because of their bullpen, they just
That's kind of crazy.
sucked. So I think they signed Archie Bradley, great signing. Great
Mm.
dude too. I love Archie Bradley. And I think he's really going to stabilize that bullpen, and he's going to finally get a chance to like close for a good team now too. He was kind of on the back end of Arizona turning bad, and then he didn't have a good of a year. I think he's going to have a great year this year in Philly too. So,
Yeah, no, that's a low key move.
so we're going to move on now to the Indians. What do you think about Cleveland this year? Yeah,
Another like weird team, but I would say they're good enough because they still have enough
yeah,
pieces to compete in that division, which like
yeah,
makes it's just kind of frustrating because they could be so much better if they just spent like a dime on their players. But I mean, still with Bieber, with Jose Ramirez, with I mean the guys that got back to the Mets and other young pitchers they have too, McKenzie and Caval and Plesac.
yeah.
I think
Plesac,
they're still gonna be around. So I'd say that they're
yeah.
like they're just good enough, but probably not like a World Series contender.
I don't see him as a World Series contender. I just see them as like bleak right now. Like you don't know. It's just like boring, kind of like I don't know. Boring is such a like it's boring, but they are boring right now. I mean, they're also. I think like for me, the biggest thing to describe them as this season is name change because obviously there's all the talks that they might
True,
change their team
true.
name.
Yeah,
So I think that's going to be the main focus of them this year because they're going to be average. They're going to get an average. They're going to win above 500. They're going to go like 80 something
yeah,
games. But they don't have any like superstars. Like they have Jose Ramirez, I guess, but And I guess Bieber, but you don't know how good Bieber's going to pitch now against the rest of the league. He pitched really good against the Central
That's
divisions.
true.
So,
Yeah.
obviously, like they got Eddie Rosario, he should help. He's good, but he's not like they signed him to a 1 year deal. It's not like there's going to be someone stapled there for a long time.
Yeah.
So I think they're really just trying to figure out who they are as a team. I think they can maybe start to move in the right direction once they change the team name, because then
Yeah.
they'll have a new personality. You know what I mean? Then they'll just know who they are. Like not that, it doesn't just happen like that. You know what I mean?
No, I
So
feel.
yeah.
I think they're interesting enough. Just be like I would watch them just to see like Bieber and Ramirez. But yeah, other than that, there's not a whole lot to look forward to.
So now we're gonna go to the other team near you. Not the Dodgers, the Angels.
The fake LA team.
The fake LA team. They should just be called the Anaheim Angels, to be honest with you.
I mean that's just such an easy fix. I don't know what they're doing,
Yeah.
but I would call them explosive.
Really?
Definitely, yeah. I'd say between Trout and Otani in that lineup.
Okay.
And then I don't know if yeah, Otani's looked sick so far. Oh, and I don't know how I forgot Rendon. Like
Mhm.
that 1, 2, 3 punch is going to be, it should be good enough. Like
Yeah.
we've said this all the time. Like they should be able to compete. And I think like they got some firepower down in Anaheim.
Yeah, hey, I mean, I got this Pujols jersey right here.
Who else?
Fan of Albert, and it's his last season, so
Oh, true.
most likely his contract is up. I don't know if he'll still play, but I really want to see Albert in the playoffs one more time, man. And I
Yeah.
just think to describe them is get Trout to the playoffs. Get him there. Like that's it. Just that's
Hmm.
the only focus that the whole organization should have.
Yeah.
You can't have another season where he's sitting there watching it on his couch, watching the World Series. No, you want to see Mike Trout in the World Series somehow, at least in
Hmm.
the playoffs, dude. Like he's been in the playoffs one season for 3 games, and he went 1 for 14 with a homer. That was it. So
Yeah.
they just didn't do enough for me. I don't think they still don't have the pitching that they should have.
No, they're just not very good at signing it. And to be fair, they made the effort. Like I know they went hard after Garrett Cole. No,
But then they
they've
went hard after Odorizzi, and he didn't go there. Like they've
yeah.
gone hard against guys, and they just don't get them for some reason. I think they've almost made themselves a narrative that like no one wants to go there because they think they can't make the playoffs.
It's like Southern California though, you know what I mean? I feel like they'd just be
Yeah.
more
Orange
enticing.
County, like yeah,
Yeah, like I don't know. I feel well, Rendon was interested at least, and if you talk about recent signings, so
yeah. That's
I don't
the
know, man. I
and
yeah,
they
that's a
made
good
some
point. You
moves
would think
too.
they'd
Like
attract more people.
they made some moves too. I mean, like they have Jose Iglesias filling in for Andrelton Simmons at short. Have you
Hmm.
seen some of the plays he's been making, by the way?
It's pretty
Like
nice.
those fucking plays where he runs up, grabs it, and he's in the air and he just fucking lets it go. Like those are
The
awesome,
fact they
dude.
have him and
Um,
Simmons
well, they
could
don't
be
have
interesting.
Simmons now though.
Oh, I mean, what
He's
as far
taking
as
his
like
place.
the
Yeah.
switch
Yes.
from
Yes. Right.
yeah,
Um, yeah. I mean, like everyone's like, "Wow, man, they don't have Simmons. That's like a defensive downgrade." Like, have you
yeah.
seen Iglesias play shortstop? Like, he's good.
No, he's pretty
Um,
good.
David Fletcher, their leadoff hitter, is so good, dude.
Hmm.
You talk about like getting into deep counts every time. That's him. He gets full counts. Like Brett Gardner used to do it for the Yanks all the time when he was like, he would fill in as a leadoff hitter sometimes when he first came up when Jeter was out. And they also got Dexter Fowler,
Oh,
who,
true.
in my opinion, I think he's just going to help the clubhouse so much, and he can still swing the bat a little bit. He's going to be playing right field. If you remember, he was on the Cubs in 2016 when Joe Madden was the manager of the World Series team. Now Madden is managing
True.
in Anaheim. So,
Yeah, so
but
why is it
again,
then? Why is it they keep under able to sign so many position players and they just can't get?
I don't know. And like again, the rotation right now is going to be Otani, Dylan Bundy proved himself a little bit last year, getting out of Baltimore. We'll see what he can do over a full
He's
season.
decent.
But yeah, decent. Like a bunch of decent guys and a question mark around Otani isn't going to
Hmm.
cut it.
Oh yeah, you have no
And
idea if he's gonna stay healthy. Like you have no reason to
uh,
assume that at this point.
I would love for him to. Imagine he fucking pitches 30 starts, dude. That would be great.
Dude, CC Sabathia was
Um,
saying it the other day. He's like the greatest baseball player I've ever seen. He literally said he was like, who else hits like 450-foot bombs and like 100 miles per hour? Like
exactly.
I I don't know, man. He gets a lot of hype, or like maybe too much, but like it's for a reason, you know what I mean? Like I just there's so much potential that I
Yeah.
don't have to describe it anymore.
And like if he is out there and he's like Garrett Cole and he's like Jacob DeGrom and he's like Shane Bieber out there, I don't see a situation where the Angels don't make the playoffs. But you got to prove it. And Andrew Heaney, like he's okay. Griffin Canning, he's kind of proved himself a little bit. Alex Cobb, I mean, I don't know, man. It's like it's kind of just a makeshift rotation that like has the potential to be kind of good. I mean,
Yeah,
if
but
it's
you're
like
asking for
if
a lot
all
of
if
things to
all
break
five
right.
guys like yeah, if all five guys do everything right, top five rotation in baseball, honestly, because Cobb used to be good with Tampa. If they're all like at their potential, but the
Yeah,
odds of that happening with five guys, not very
no.
high. So we'll
I mean,
see.
they're going to
Yeah,
have to outscore a lot of teams with that lineup. That's going to be
yeah.
just like the crux of their strategy.
Like they traded for Raciel Iglesias from the Reds. Like, yeah, that's great to have a closer, but you kind of
Hmm.
need some starters to
But
get
he's
him
going to
there.
need people
So,
in front of him. No, that's
yeah.
how it works. Yeah.
All right. So also there was kind of maybe one of the last kind of free agents out there. I don't know. I wouldn't even put him in like the big category, but the Orioles signed Michael Franco to play third. And they signed him to a 1 year deal. It's pretty much going to equal out to 1 million. There are some incentives, I think, but Franco bounced back last year. If those of you again, he's not like very well known. He played for Kansas City last year, and he actually bounced back from what he used to be in Philly. He kind of had some bad years there.
Hmm.
He had a 778 OPS last year for Kansas City, playing third every day, and he played every day. He played in all
Hmm.
60 games, so that was pretty cool to see. He's kind of a guy who the Phillies had a lot of aspirations for, and he never really panned out over there.
Yeah. I
We
remember
remember
thinking he
playing
was going
against
to be more
him.
than he was.
And I remember he had like some big homers over there too. I mean, he was a good player in Philly, but he just never got to the potential. And I think last year, playing in like a ballpark like Kansas City too, and having a 778 OPS for a guy that's always played in Philly, that's pretty decent. Like, you're not
Hmm.
used to that big dimensions. So, I think, obviously the Orioles are rebuild mode. So I think he's more of a, you're playing with us until July, and if you're playing good, you're out
Right.
type of guy. So, but he can help out a lot of teams. There are always teams that need infielders. He can play some first base too. He's played first in the past.
Hmm.
So, I think there's going to be a lot of American League teams, especially because you could just throw him at DH too. He's not like amazing
Exactly.
defensively.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, he's kind of like the last kind of guy everybody might know that has signed. I
Right.
bet we won't really see many more until the season starts. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I mean, we'll see where he ends up. And especially playing in Camden Yards, so it could inflate his
yeah,
power a little bit. So maybe teams will find him attractive. So yeah,
yeah,
no, he definitely wasn't what I thought he was going to be on those Philly teams from a few years ago. But
yeah,
yeah, we'll see.
yeah. So we're gonna kind of wrap it up here. We're gonna move on to our stat of the week. So for anyone, did you see Jordan Hicks with the Cardinals against the Mets a few
Oh,
days
did
ago?
I see it? Boy, my boy Luis was looking fantastic up there.
Dude, yeah. So for anyone who hasn't seen, Jordan Hicks opted out last year. He's a Cardinals pitcher, reliever, and the year before he had Tommy John surgery, so he hasn't pitched in like 2 seasons in a game situation. And
Okay.
so in his first inning back, since all of that, he's facing Luis Guillorme of the Mets, and the at bat ends up going 22 pitches, and it resulted in a walk.
I did not notice his first inning back. I feel like
It was a
that's
first
a.
batter. It was a first batter, and like,
He's like, I didn't really miss this. Okay, I'm done.
right, exactly, yeah. And then he got taken out after that at bat because like they didn't want him to throw more pitches because
No, he
they were
basically
planning
just
on
threw
him.
an
Yeah,
innings worth.
exactly. And that was just like, I mean, can you imagine being out for that long and then that's your first at bat back? Like, and the fact that like Guillorme didn't like just give it to him or something, like just look at one, like he fucking battled
No,
the whole time. Dude, I saw like Pete was going nuts in your guys'
they
dugout.
were
So
loving
was
it.
Dom Smith. They were like loving it, dude. And like, dude, I bet like the Cardinals though were probably just begging that he wouldn't like hurt himself on the mound from like throwing this many pitches to the same guy and get like annoyed or something.
Hicks is
But
like, actually, I'm good. I'll just,
yeah,
I
that's
didn't even
just
miss this.
that's just kind of funny, man. And that's the longest at bat. Like the longest at bat in a regular season game ever was 21 pitch at bat in 2018. So if this was a
Hmm.
regular season, this would have been the all time record. I don't know what the spring training record is, but yeah, that was Brandon Belt against I forget who it was, but he had like a 21 pitch at bat in 2018. I remember.
Wow.
It might have even been against Scherzer actually in DC. I feel like it was in DC for some reason,
Scherzer
but
must have been so good. Just knowing him,
Yeah,
He was
uh,
fuming out there.
I'm not positive, but I can pretty much think it was him. So that must have been pretty funny. But
It's like when MLB
um,
The Show turns real.
exactly, yeah, yeah. But so good for Guillorme, man. He could that might have just earned him a spot on the team. You know, you want to wear out
Dude,
a pitcher. Like,
he threw an I remember he threw an inning for us last year. I
oh
don't
yeah,
know.
very
His
very versatile.
Hey, his legend's growing. I don't know. He's one of
Yeah.
those guys I love to have on my team. So I'm happy.
So that was just fun to watch, man. Entertaining. Even though it's boring to watch that, it's entertaining, dude. Because
Oh
after
no,
like
it's great. Like I will
after
watch
10
that all
pitchers,
day.
everyone's just like, yeah, like going nuts. You know what I mean? So that was pretty cool to see. So before we head out, some news just popped up recently, right before we got on here, and I just wanted to mention it because if there's any Breaking Bad fans out there, this is something that's kind of funny. So, about 3 hours ago now, Cubs prospect Jesus Camargo was arrested by police because they found 21 pounds of crystal meth in his equipment bag at the Cubs workout facility.
Damn,
So,
that's fat.
that is that's fat, dude. Uh, Not really the news you want to hear, but
No, I mean, like the grind, I guess. I mean,
I mean, what's better than just coming over here, playing baseball as a front, and going to sell some meth? You
I
know,
mean, you don't make a lot when you first come up. You have to find some other source of income. I don't blame him.
that was just. I don't think he'll be a prospect much longer. I'll tell you that.
No, unfortunately. But Jesus, rip,
Yeah,
poor
hopefully.
guy.
We'll see. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about that. That's just. It's
Yeah.
something that you got to bring up. But
Well,
I
that
heard this
wraps
in the
up
best
for
of
us.
us. Yeah,
Hope Jesus ends up okay. We
yeah.
will be back next week with a full preview of opening day.
We can't wait, man. 2 weeks now. It's going to be fun. We can't wait to talk to you guys about what we think is going to happen during the season next week.
Now for the show. Take care.
All right. Peace out, guys.